Welcome back to the QuarantineCast with Brian, Cody, and Craig. Yes, we are all back together tonight from various locations. It is good to see you, boys. I know you held down the fort well last week. I read the positive comments. I saw the captions for the unbelievable segments that you guys did, like it was a produced program. I was not surprised. Two former producers, now hosts, have taken their trade and really done well. The only thing I can ask is, can we, someday can we actually do segments when I'm here? That would be fun.
No, that's a no.
No.
It's going to be a hard no.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's disappointing.
I mean, you run the ship. When you're here, Noonan, you run the ship. If you want segments, bring them to us.
Yeah. Listen, I'm ready. Look at it. This is notebook paper right here.
There we go.
Got stuff written on it. I'm always ready.
To be honest, though, and I think that the audience might start to notice this, and no offense is intended, Noonan. I think Cody is better with the captions. I think we need Cody in control of captions all the time.
That's fine. What did he? I'm trying to remember what some of them were. It was I know there was Craig's Catholic Hour, which I found very exciting.
Many of them were offensive to me.
Yeah, he's going to judge you, so shut up. I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
Craig Explains Bitcoin was another one. That was, man, I'm sorry I missed that. That was
our newest, least popular segment. Yeah.
That was probably crazy. Of course, the Curiosity Daily segment starring Craig asking Cody questions. That's a nice one. There's nothing wrong with that one. I can see 2 out of 3. He did insult you, but that's only a C average.
Right.
67. That's a D.
But I don't know if I really am the star of the segment about his podcast. I don't know if I'm the star of that.
No, I think he was throwing you a bone. Were you, Cody? Were you just placating him?
Nah, Craig's always the star of anything I ever do with him. That he knows that.
I think people are going to complain that Cody's a little quiet.
They're probably going to say Cody's quiet. You're quiet, Cody. And I know it's not because you're a shrinking violet.
How about now?
Oh, so
much louder.
You like that? Does that make you feel good?
No,
good inside? You hate that, don't you? That's really loud, isn't it?
It's not really loud.
Louder. A little metallic buzz. Cindy, Janice, Linda, hello, welcome. We're glad you're with us as always. How are you, Cody? How are you dealing with all this snow?
No, dude, the snow's great. No, I'm an audio producer. I'm a perfectionist, and I don't know. Everything I've done with my microphones in the last few days has been wrong. I have a lot of things that seem to be breaking for no discernible reason, and yet I'm still recording a daily podcast from major global brand that I have to then fix in post-production. So I'm having a rough work week. And on top of that, every time I look away from the window and then I look back at the window, there's another 4 to 6 inches of snow every time without fail for the last 2 weeks. So I have shoveled a lot. I will tell you, Brian, I did invest in a snow thrower.
Did you really?
Whoa.
The most brilliant purchase you could have made. Congratulations. What'd you go with?
Thank you. So my initial, hesitation and lack of desire to get one is because they walk in the store and everyone's $1,000. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend $1,000. If someone said something in a Slack conversation at work, and I just Googled Greenworks. That's the brand I went with for my leaf blower and my lawnmower. Greenworks, the battery brand, they have a battery operated snow thrower for $300.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. 2/3 of the show now calls it the wrong thing. And you had a problem with that word too, Cody, last time Brian used it. And now you've bought in snow blower. It's a snow blower.
Now here's the deal. I used to call it a snow blower. There are actually 2 things. If you have an auger, which I had a double auger on my big errands, it is a snow thrower. If you have just a little rubber brush, like on some of the smaller ones, those are snow blowers. It's a whole different thing, Craig. There's a hierarchy, like Maslow once said, there's a hierarchy of snow blowing needs.
No, this makes no sense. They all should be snow blowers. No one says snow thrower except the two of you now.
Oh no, you are so I'm going to tell you, you are so mistaken.
Okay.
You will be shocked when you realize how many. Go to Wisconsin and ask people what they have.
That's not where I live. I'm not going there.
All right, go out to your favorite corner market where you pick up your giant beverages, and ask that guy when he hires somebody to come and do outside the bodega what he calls it.
By the way, to answer a question from producer Dan, he just texted me. No, Brian and I are not in the same room, even though it does appear that we have the same curtain. We're not in the same place.
Mine is like it's got the green, but it's a stripe, one green stripe down the center. Because as anybody who watches this knows, I am not in my palatial office, my well-appointed corporate office that I usually broadcast from. I am in a hotel. I'm in a Fairfield Inn in.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Because I've had nothing but coin. I'm in a Fairfield Inn in a suburb just east of Memphis, Tennessee, where I have been hunkered down since Monday night, with very few prospects.
We should definitely talk about that. By the way, I just looked it up. I bought a snow blower, so not only did I use the wrong name, Craig, you were. No, yeah. So I got a snow blower. It doesn't matter. Also, Kim with a hilarious comment.
Yeah, I'm offended by Kim's comment. It's not hilarious. That I don't know the difference between the two, Kim. It's that no one uses the term snow thrower. I don't care what they have. They don't say it.
Audio for the audio listener. For the audio listener, the comment is: if you don't know the difference between blow and throw, date night must be precarious for you. Ha! So good.
Hey, Carol.
Good. I love it.
Carol jumping on YouTube. We are on both YouTube and Facebook, so that's exciting. So did it work? Have you tried it? How long does it take? How long will it run on a battery? Because this is the kind of snow where you're going out a lot.
Yeah, I ordered it. It'll probably arrive after the last snowfall of the year.
That makes
sense. I will say it was really nice. After the 19th of 30 snowfalls that we've had, the other day I was shoveling my driveway. And our neighbor across the street has an actual snow tractor. It's not a blower. It is not a thrower. You literally, it's bigger than a riding lawnmower. It's just a straight up snow tractor. And he just drives it up and down his driveway, which isn't that long. It's like 4 or 5 car lengths long. That is long, but you don't need that. No one needs this, right? It's huge.
No, if you have a tractor, you better be doing everybody's snow.
Well, that's kind of what happened. I was doing the edge of my driveway, just breaking my back. And then he just kind of rolls in and just drives right up in my driveway, throws all the snow out, backs up, goes in a few times, tosses it everywhere. I waved at him, smiling, give him thumbs up. And he just kind of like nodded, made eye contact like twice. And then he was just on his merry way.
You didn't give him any money? There was no exchange of anything?
I was going to run in and grab him a beer, but then the last time he backed out, he just drove right down the street. He drove down the street and around the corner, I think, to right off in the sunset and do somebody else's random driveway.
He's like the Batman of snow blowing. He just comes in. That's amazing.
I guess, terrific.
Yeah. But I was
praying somebody has done that for our house when we get home. I can only imagine the nightmare in front of my house and in my alley right now.
I have a pro tip for both of you if you want it.
Flamethrower.
Rent. Don't buy. Then you never have to do the snow. If you rent, the landlord does it. I know
that's not true.
A lot of it usually is true. It depends on the location, I guess.
Always been true with me. Yeah.
Well, you were in apartments,
right?
If you rent a house, you got to do that stuff yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it depends on the agreement. You can push for other things.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
here's a pro tip for you, Craig. Instead of trying to cook for people, get a butler.
Yeah.
Named
Here's
Alfred.
a pro tip. Install heated sidewalks and driveways. You have so many pro tips, Craig.
Yeah. These are really good pro tips. I'm writing them down.
Great pro tips.
Shows. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to put them in one of the segments. Pro tips. The new segments. We'll just all give pro tips about things.
Right. If Cody was in charge of the captions, it would already be up there.
Now, Cody, Tom asked about dibs, but you have a driveway, so you don't need dibs.
Yeah, I got a driveway.
Yeah,
honestly, some of the burp. If I shoveled any part of the street gets plowed so aggressively that I wouldn't even put a car there. There's no way. Where
good
can
for
you
rent being in the suburbs where they take care of the streets?
They take care of my street. It's pretty nice. My taxes are doing at least that out here. But that wraps up my snow shoveling scenario. I think that we really need to get to the top story, which is why are you where you are?
Yeah, that's the story.
It is. Well, it started with a miscalculation. Let's just say that. We decided we were going to drive down last weekend and visit Molly for a little quarantine Mardi Gras, which was basically Molly has not left her apartment. Debbie has not left our house. I go to the grocery store. That's been the extent of us going out. So we figured we'd go down there. We'd just stay at Molly's, see her, see Walter, drive around town because people in New Orleans very creative. I don't know if you've seen all the news coverage. They were doing these house floats. So people with big money were hiring the Mardi Gras companies to do like huge things. But regular people were doing their houses up and decorating them, and it was phenomenal. If you look up house floats or a crew of house floats, and you'll see the pictures. It was great. So we decided we're going to go down to Molly's, and about 3-4 hours into the drive, I went, "This is a mistake," because we left early Thursday morning we left at like 12:30 in the morning. We get down past Champaign. And from Champaign to somewhere about 45 minutes into Mississippi, the roads were ice covered and snowpacked to the point where I was going maybe 25 miles an hour. For a 900-mile journey, you do the math. In Arkansas, there were chain reaction crashes going the other way. It was horrible. And Debbie kept going, "Well, maybe we should turn around." I'm like, "We're 8 hours into this. We can't." The drive down took us 15 hours to get to New Orleans.
Wow.
So I started drinking immediately. And then I drank until, drank a little bit here and there. And,
in the car?
No, in Molly's apartment. Because I always have her get at least a 6-pack to have in the refrigerator when I arrive. Because I know I need a couple minutes.
I love that rule. If Noonan's coming over, put a 6-pack in the fridge a day early.
She calls, "What do you want?" And I tell her, and she goes, she asked Debbie. She didn't ask me because I said, "Will you get me a 6-pack of Abita Mardi Gras Bach?" She said to Debbie, "How come he only wants me to get him 6?" So I'm like, "Oh no, I might have that's it. Hey, listen, that's something we'll handle another time. I'll look into that later."
Sure.
But it's a very nice visit. We had a good time. We saw some beautiful house floats. We carried in food. It was very nice. And we started looking at the weather. And down there, they were saying Monday into Tuesday was going to be very bad. What they didn't say was that they meant like midnight Monday, which to me is Sunday night. Judge's ruling?
Yeah, it's Sunday night.
All right, that's Sunday night.
This is to people who've done late night radio. For all of us, we've all done it. That is still Sunday night.
Yeah, exactly. That was always my problem with filling out my time card. What day were you here? I don't know. I was here at the nighttime. But anyway, we discussed it very briefly. Well, maybe we should leave Sunday instead of Monday. And I was like, no, it doesn't look like it's going to start till late Monday. We left at 6:30 Monday morning. Thankfully, we got out of Louisiana. But then we got into Mississippi.
I love that. Thank God we didn't have to deal with any more Louisiana
than we had. About 2 hours after we got out of Louisiana, the ice storm hit and they shut down the interstates.
Oh.
It probably would have been a blessing had we been stuck there. Because now I'd just be like in my post Mardi Gras, beginning of Lent detox, and it would be fantastic. That's for Craig's Catholic Corner. Today is Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
Yeah. What are you giving up, Brian?
I'm giving up driving to Louisiana in the winter. That's what I'm giving up.
Well played.
40 days of not driving to Louisiana.
Yeah,
that's it.
I need Craig's ruling because in this segment, as the subtitle suggests, Craig will judge you. So, Craig, how do you judge that?
I'm not saying that a lot of Catholics will be proud of Brian for this, but it's fine. He's given up something. At least he's trying. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I'm also trying to give up being a dick, but that's a whole other thing.
Failed. The answer is failed.
No, I was actually, except for one time. Well, I'll get to it. So it's Mississippi is a nightmare. First of all, nobody in the South is ready for this kind of weather. And everybody you talk to about it cannot wait to tell you how they never have weather like this. Oh man, we never see snow and ice. We don't know how to do it. Yeah, no, duh, you don't know how to do it.
Do you drive the same speed and make random turns? I think that's how
Oh
you
my
do it.
Lord. Some of them do. You know, those big 4-wheel monster trucks defy gravity and Mother Nature. So every once in a while, you know, I'm white knuckling it in the right lane because they don't have plow. You know, in Chicago, they're out plowing and salting before the snow even gets here. Now, in Mississippi, they're like, is that a plague from heaven? Is it manna? What's falling from the sky? I think Jesus sent us something. We better drive real slow so we can catch all of the Jesus fortune that's falling out of the sky. Except
You're gonna have to give something else up for Lent.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I already blew that. But only for one state. You know, 49 other states still think I'm pretty cool, and Puerto Rico loves me, just for the record. So I'm white knuckling it.
How does Guam feel about you?
What?
No, sorry, keep going. Tell your story.
Are you saying my Ford pickup truck isn't immune to the snow?
That's right.
That was the right accent, right?
When did Montesquieu move to Mississippi?
No. Louisiana was annexed by the UK. It was part of the Brexit deal. Very weird fine print. You know, the Louisiana Purchase had some very strange,
so nerd.
Very strange fine print. And somehow Brexit actually ended up with Louisiana being annexed by the British. But it's only North Louisiana, which will now be called New Louisiana.
New.
Yeah. What?
University of New Lou. I like it.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
So, well, that's good. I drove.
You were rolling.
I know. Well, listen. No, I wasn't. I was going like 25 miles an hour, white knuckling it, screaming. I was trying to be patient because, you know, Debbie's in the car and she didn't cause this weather. And there were only a couple times where I went, we should have left Sunday. And then she's like, you got to stop saying that. All right. There were stretches where the right lane had been driven on enough where there were ruts, you know, where you could actually see the pavement. And if you only have one lane and you get behind somebody who is going to go 20 miles an hour for an hour and a half when they don't really need to, it gets a little frustrating. Mm-hmm. So I'd be waiting and every once in a while, as you got somewhere, there'd be a spot in the left lane where you could, like, I say whip around, but by whip around, I mean 22 miles an hour. I'm dropping the hammer. Boom. Smokey and the Bandit, I'm lighting them up. Me and Jerry Reed are heading in. We're eastbound and down, even though we were northbound and swearing. I'll suffice it to say, usually from New Orleans to Memphis is a 5-hour drive. Guess how long it took me to get to Memphis?
14.
6
hours.
12. Very nice. 12 hours to get to Memphis. Here's the best part. So we're somewhere in central Mississippi. And I say somewhere because, honest to God, it doesn't matter where you are. It's all the same. People not wearing masks, a lot of accents, and absolutely zero things open because of the ice and the snow. We pulled in about 2 hours into the journey to an exit where we've stopped before to get gas, and we were going to get, drive through McDonald's and get breakfast. Everything was closed. Everything except one gas station. So I was like, well, at that point, I still had over half. I'm going to top off the tank. So we did it. We stopped again later on, hours later, at a Love's truck stop somewhere in Mississippi. Because again, it was the only thing open and we both had to go to the bathroom, which almost proved deadly because the men's bathroom was closed and a sign on the men's bathroom said, guys, go out front to the trailer. They had a trailer parked outside the gas station part with men's bathrooms in it. And I went to step on the stair to go up in the trailer and I slipped because it was all ice covered. And I'm like, I'm just going to pee my pants because there's no way if I do get up the stairs, there's no way I'm getting down the stairs. Somebody poked his head out and he goes, no, come on in. We're using shower number 2. I don't know if you've ever been in a truck stop shower room.
No.
It's if you ever saw the movie Midnight Express, when the main guy got raped in the shower, this was basically that. They shot this here. It was the most, by far, disgusting. If I was in prison, I would go, you know what, just execute me, because I can't spend 12 minutes in this thing.
Can I get a follow-up question? There's a guy that's running this location. There's a dude standing there that's like, no, come on, man, come up here.
Yeah, it wasn't just some random trucker. It was a guy with a Love's truck stop shirt on. He was an official guy.
That's his gig for the night, is to run the worst bathroom in the history of the country?
It might be. I don't know why he decided on shower. The only thing I can figure is they chose shower number 2 because it was so disgusting. I could have basically just pooped on the floor and nobody would have noticed. The bathroom was so bad. I did have to do some heavy lifting. I opted not to. I opted to just wait till I found somewhere else that I could do that because one, thankfully I locked the door. I locked the door and then I hear rattling. Now there's 3 guys out there all trying to get into shower number 2. Now, I don't know if it was me, if they had spied my sweet backyard and wanted to come in with me, or if they all were just in trouble too. So the Love's truck stop bathroom was horrifying. Also, wait. Yes.
Did you were pooping in a shower?
No, he did. He chose not to.
There is a toilet in there. And I use the term toilet instead of just metal wastebasket because I think that's more couth. I think it adds a little, I'm not just going to poop in a basket. There was a toilet. But imagine if you ever saw the movie Saw. Imagine if Saw was a toilet.
His face? Or
the room where he tied everybody up to where he chained them to the wall.
Wasn't there a toilet in that room?
We need to bring back the out of context quote of the night. We need it so bad this evening. Cody, do you still have the sounders? We need it.
I don't produce anymore. Based on my setup, it would just break anyway.
Yeah, it's just going to explode.
Just going to explode.
So many winners, though, during this story already.
So it sounds like a zombie apocalypse where the truckers were just rushing and like rattling the bars, like what was the Day of the Dead style? Were they Day of the Dead?
This Love's bathroom guy, though, is both good and terrible at his job because he got you up there, but then he ignored completely the other 3 guys trying to break in on you.
And other than Debbie, I'm going to be honest, there weren't a lot of women in sight. So I could have used the women's bathroom because Debbie was already done and standing there terrified when she saw me go down toward the sign that just says shower rooms.
Mm.
That's like seeing Peep Show. Nothing good is going to happen in one of those rooms, you know? And I know truckers need to shower and everything. I'm not denigrating truckers. I'm denigrating this room where they are forced to bathe. And the fact that, Debbie's telling me I'm very loud. Hey, listen, the hotel guests can go on Facebook, Brian Noonan Show. There's nobody in this hotel. It's like we're staying in The Shining. There's nobody here.
Except all 3 truckers
and we're in one of those weird rooms that's off the main hall next to the elevator. So every time the elevator moves, I think it's a snowplow, and I get all excited, and I look out the window, and there's no snowplow. There's nothing plowing the parking lot.
Are there any truckers out there? If you open the curtains right now and look outside, will there be a bunch of truckers trying to claw their way into your bathroom for some reason?
Additional questions coming your way. If you do dig yourself out of the parking lot, are you going to call dibs on it just in case?
No, I've already used the same parking lot for same parking spot for 3 days because I backed in and out to create ruts. So I'm good. I put $7 worth of gas in at the Love's truck stop. That may have been an issue because about 20 minutes after we left, my check engine light started flashing like crazy, like a disco ball. It was, and I was like, what? The car had literally 2 weeks ago, I had my car in at the dealership for a recall thing, and they checked everything out. I put a new drive belt on. It was all, I keep my car well maintained for just such a thing. So now I've got, another 4 or 5 hours ends up to get to Memphis with my check engine light flashing. The car is running fine for a while, but if there's ever a point where I get to pick up speed a little bit, the power stops. It won't go over a certain miles per hour. It was just, so now not only am I exhausted from this white knuckle drive, scarred beyond belief from just having to go to the bathroom and fearing for my life that somebody was going to come out from the stall and actually murder me. Now my check engine light is flashing and I'm like, oh no. And you guys have known me long enough. Can you imagine my mental state at this point?
Yes. Yes, we can.
I don't think I want to.
The good news is
you're still alive. You didn't kill anybody.
No, yes, those are both good things. I maintained my composure. I would say to 95%.
Wow.
I was very nervous. I did say to Debbie, she started, I'm like, please start looking up Hyundai dealerships. And so she found one, and I love Debbie immensely, and she's very intelligent. She's not good with navigation. She's not good with maps. She's not just not good with it. But we're driving along, and it's the roads are getting worse as we're getting closer to Memphis. There's snow. It's just horrible. And I would have stopped in Memphis anyway, even if the car wasn't messing up, just because 12 hours and that was enough. But she finds a Hyundai dealer on the south side of Memphis. So I get off on the bike and I'm driving and I find it, and it's in the middle of like an industrial area. If the Love's truck stop bathroom were an area more than a room, it would have been where this car dealership was. So much so that I went in, there was a liquor store, gas station, convenience store, kitty corner from the dealership. Now it's 6 o'clock at night. It's not like we're rolling into town at midnight. The dealership was supposed to be open till 7. Now they'd closed long ago. I walked into this gas station convenience store to go to the bathroom. There was bulletproof glass everywhere. There were people screaming. I quick ran to, and the bathroom was way in the back, and I'm like, I'm dead back here. I'm going to go down this hallway. I'm going to turn the corner, and I'm getting murdered. Now, I don't look like I'm rolling in dough, but they probably figure, this guy probably has $10 on him, and we'll kill him for the $10 and bury him in the snow. Nobody's going to know. So Debbie had stayed in the car so we could keep the car running because we didn't know if we turned it off if it would ever turn back. I go on and I'm like, man, this is bad. This is a bad area. This is a bad gas station. I said, do you still need to go to the bathroom? Nope. I'm going to wait. Right.
Wow.
So I looked up and I found enough. Now, I'm in Memphis. I don't know. I mean, I know a little about Memphis. I've been here a lot. I love Memphis. And I knew as I found another dealership out to the east, I knew that was like a suburban area, and it looked like the dealership was near a mall and all kinds of restaurants. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go to this one. And Debbie pulled up some hotels near there, and she's like, all right, well, here's a hotel. All right, well, we get here, and it's one of those areas where there's a lot of hotels. It's like a big interchange at on the interstate. There's a lot of hotels. I found the dealership. They had closed, but and so had everything else. So we find, thank God for the Fairfield Inn in Bartlett, Mississippi. Can I just say that, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Because Debbie was taking us to another hotel. Oh, they're all right here. But Debbie was taking us to another hotel, and she's holding the Waze map and trying to, because I am having to go two hands and eyes on the road because people are sliding and swerving. And I'm like, all right, where do we turn? Turn here at the light. I turn into the light. It's the entrance to the mall parking lot that has not been shoveled or not been plowed. So I'm spinning. I'm getting stuck. I'm like, that was the one time I lost it. I finally, after 12 and a half hours and all of this, I was like, God, you are not, why can't, every time I ask you to help me with directions, and then she's screaming, I'm like, good. So we pull in, now we're in a whole big area of hotels. The Fairfield was the first one we pulled up to, and I was like, just go in and see if there's a room. So she came out, she throws me a key. We're at 212. All right, great. So then we hadn't eaten all day because no place had been open. We had some popcorn that we had brought in the car. We had I think we had something from the gas station, and that was it. So we were kind of hungry. Everything was closed. McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, everything is closed. Because I said to her,
Subway was closed?
Everything. And again, this is 7 o'clock. This is not, in Chicago during the snow, everything stays open.
Ask
Down here, I don't know if you know this, Fellas, we don't get this kind of weather down here. We're not used to ice. It hasn't snowed in 3 years. We ain't used to it. Long story, I end up at Jet's Pizza. Because I tell Debbie, here, we load the cart. She brings everything up to the room while I go foraging for food because I am the great hunter. I will bring food back for my woman and provide hot sustenance for my family. Thankfully, we had seen the Jet's Pizza when we went to find the car dealership. I get there, there's nobody can park in the parking lot. There's snow everywhere, but thank God for Jet's. We got a pizza, brought it home. While I'm there, Debbie had made an appointment for the car dealership for yesterday morning at 7:30. I get to the car dealership yesterday morning at 7:30. It's locked up tight. Nobody's there. And so I call. I get the voicemail for the service department. And I'm like, hey, man, I had an appointment for 7:30. I was wondering if you guys are going to open today. And I'm thinking, they're not going to open today. And I can't. All right, let me ask you both this. Would you risk driving home through snow and ice, through rural Missouri and Arkansas and Southern Illinois with a car that is really acting up?
No.
Yes, but I'm an idiot.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, checkmate?
I will
okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Pull it back. How old is the car?
It's a 2013.
Okay, yeah, no. If it were a car that I wouldn't care if it died on me, then maybe yeah.
No, and it's in good shape. I mean, I keep it up, so it's in good shape.
Well, if you had a AAA membership, you know, it breaks down, you give them a call, you just sit on a freezing cold, road.
I don't know, the check engine light is on. If you fry the engine somehow, there's some damage you can do that's irreversible.
Yes, that will come into play. Thankfully, because I had a new engine put in this car 2 years ago. Thankfully, it was covered by Hyundai because it was something in the design mode, and I blew an engine driving back from Wisconsin. And that's the worst thing.
Did you ask them why they have a silent Y?
Hyundai?
Yeah.
No, Cody, that was the least of my worries. But I will, in better days, I'll bring it up. Sure.
It just didn't do anything
Hyundai?
for me.
Are you of the impression, Cody, that they tell every employee the answer to that question? You could just ask anybody that works at Hyundai?
If they don't, then that's terrible customer service, first of all. And second of all, I could forgive a silent K or a silent N. Any of those things.
Where do you fall on Sade?
I don't know what that is.
That is a singer. Her name is spelled S-A-D-E and it's pronounced Sade.
I hate everything you just said.
You've never heard of Sade?
I have, and I think, Craig, you're the one that told me about Sade.
How do you know it's the sweetest taboo every time you do horrible things to your lovely wife?
This show is great.
Are you throwing Sade at me?
Well, we are.
I need a drink. I now need a drink. I officially keep doing things amongst yourselves. This show is so good, I need a drink.
I'm drinking to celebrate the end of Mardi Gras, Bacchus Blonde from Port Orleans Brewing, which I had brought back from, I had it in my car, so I brought it up because our room has a little refrigerator. So if you think I'm going to be stranded for days without a beer, you're sadly mistaken.
Hang on a minute, Mr. Everything's Closed. Where'd you get that beer?
I bought this in New Orleans on Sunday.
Oh, all right.
I told you, everything was closed when we got here. I gotta say, and I you know me, Cody. I don't, I'll thank people if they do something else, but I'm going to throw unbelievable amounts of thanks and praise to the service manager Keith and everybody at Wolf Chase Hyundai in Bartlett, Mississippi, because first of all, he called me right back. It turns out the message I left was his personal voicemail, and he called me back and he was like, hey, Brian, yeah, we're going to open at 10. I don't know how many employees I'm going to have, but if you want to come back at 10 o'clock or just call me, we'll figure it out. And I thought that was great. I'm like, okay, perfect. I get there at 10. I meet the service guy. I meet Keith. They're talking to me. Here's the problem, because my luck is just that I just have this kind of luck. A week ago, Hyundai's national database was hacked. They hacked into their service stuff. So
Wait, hold on. Say that again. A week ago, Hyundai's national database of
the computer system was hacked. Not with names and stuff, but like with operating things. Because as I'm standing there meeting the first service guy, so he could run me, he's like, "Is Hyundai up?" They couldn't get the Hyundai, their internal network. They couldn't get it up. One computer did. The point is that after they looked at my car and said, "Here's what's the deal," it may just be a computer update, but we can't get on our system to do the update. We can't do it. He said, it could be a number of things. He said, it could be the engine. Could be got a little moisture in the gas, but I haven't seen that before. It could be that it's this or that. He said, I could just cancel out the code because it threw a code that said there was some problem. It detected some knock in the engine. So it put me into limp mode, which is limited power. It makes it so the car can't go over certain speeds, so you can't do permanent damage to the engine.
Can we just do a quick recap, by the way? You said Hyundai couldn't get it up, and then they put you in limp mode.
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly right. Do I need to repeat myself?
No, I just want to make sure I got it. Hyundai couldn't get it up.
Hyundai couldn't get it up, and my car put me in limp mode.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
I'm
mark
there
the
now.
tape.
Yep, I got it. I'm going to have a sip of wine.
Well,
wine.
I'll try to condense this part. So Frank says, or Keith says to me, I'm trying to reach out to a field engineer at corporate. He said, because I've printed out the code and what the problem is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out this code. Then your light will stop flashing and you can drive back to the hotel. So that if you need to get some food or something, you can. And as soon as I hear from him, I'll get back to you. He said, the problem is we don't know when the computers are going to come back up, the network, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow and Thursday, which is today and tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So I drive back to the hotel, tell Debbie, we talk to the front desk. We go, hey, we're going to stay another day. Okay, fine. He calls me back. He's like, hey, I need you to bring a car over because the field engineer up north wants me to do some stuff, but I have to have the car. So we're going to give you a loaner so you can at least get some food. Okay, great. Thank you. Go back. It's like a mile and a half. It's not far back to the dealership. They give me a brand new little Hyundai. They go, and they were this one has snow mode. It's got snow mode. So, it'll be great. And I'm like, okay. They give me the car, no charge for the loaner, nothing. He's like, I'm gonna call you back. I'll call you by the end of business. We're gonna try some things. He said that they were gonna do stuff because I was the only guy there. I was the only car, and the mechanic, and they were going out of their way to try to get me back to Chicago. So I don't hear from them yesterday, and I'm starting to panic because I'm like, man, they're not gonna be open today. And I wake up this morning, there's no snow. It didn't start snowing here till like 1:30 in the afternoon. We decide we're gonna get lunch because we know by dinner time everything will close. Because last night I went across the street at 10 minutes to 5 to Walmart to get a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, and some jelly because I'm a survivalist. And if we were stranded, we were gonna have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches along with the leftover king cake and Zapp's chips that we brought from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, Walmart closed at 5 o'clock. I walked in, and they're like, we're closing in 10 minutes. I'm like, why? Nothing's happening. They were afraid that the snow that had melted during the day was going to freeze overnight. So everything closed. I got back to the hotel. We were going to order dinner. One place said, yeah, we're open till 9. We called at 7. They had closed. I went to the Burger King. They're right next door. I got to Burger King at 7:03. How do I know the time? Because they said, sorry, sir, we closed at 7. I go, it's 7:03. You can't make me a burger? Sir, we are closed for the night. So then I drive down to McDonald's because the light is still on. Greg, you got to be loving this because I'm going a million places.
I am.
I get to McDonald's. They have orange cones across their parking lot. But I see a guy, there's cars in the drive-thru, and I see a McDonald's guy standing at the end. So I drive between the cones, and I get up there and I'm like, dude, can you hook me up? I've been on the road for 12 hours. I lied because I needed some food. No, sir, I'm sorry. We were supposed to close at 6, and all these employees have to be back in the morning. And I'm like, I've only been in town for a day. I know those employees aren't coming back in the morning. There's not a chance in hell those employees are coming back in the morning. So it looked like it was going to be Jet's Pizza again, until I drove by another pizza and sub place that was open and got the food there. Anyway, long story short, it's too late. It's a long story long, but it's because I called my mom. She has our dogs, and I was like, okay, it doesn't look. We might not get out of here till Friday or Saturday. They called me at just as I had gone to Hooters to pick up our food because we're classy that way. We're going to go to Hooters. We're going to eat in a hotel room. Debbie's working, remotely, which is nice. I'm going to drink a beer at lunch on a Wednesday, first day of Lent, Ash Wednesday. He calls and he goes, all right, here's the deal. We've done all we can do. We've been driving it and nothing's happening. And I said, yeah, it didn't happen after you canceled the code and I drove back and forth. It didn't happen. So I'm like, how late are you going to be there? He goes, we don't know. I said, all right, well, I'm picking up food and I'll come right over. I get there and again, nobody is at the dealership. It's Keith, the service guy, the parts manager, two service guys, even though nobody's coming in for service, no salespeople on the other side, I don't think. And he's like, listen, here's the deal. And he was real nice. He lives in Mississippi. Real nice guy, this Keith. He's been doing service for 20 years. He's been at other shops. He's also a big wheel for Hyundai, and they call him for problems. So he goes, listen, here's the printout. It shows the code that your car threw. But we did a lot of other stuff that I can't put on here because we're not supposed to do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't think I'm going to get him in trouble. Because he was working with the field engineer up there. I go, well, for my edification, what'd you do? He goes, well, basically, we pulled the black box of your car. I didn't even know my car had a black box, which is going to be exciting when I finally do run it into a pole and they find the black box and you hear my final words, cowabunga or fuck this or whatever. Oops, sorry. Those will be my last words.
There we go. There was his.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
That's the first time ever. Sorry, folks.
Coming in hot.
Sorry.
Let's go, dude.
So he said, we printed out everything from your car. And we found the code and nothing is wrong. He said, it could be the engine, but your engine sounds great. It could be that you got a tiny bit of moisture in your gas, but you put so little gas in, that might be it. It could be your knock sensor. I don't know what that is. It's something in the car. He said he goes, but we did some kind of tests on that and the other thing, and everything was fine. He goes, maybe it was just us pulling the connections apart and cleaning them off, and everything was fine. He said, so since we can't put it on the computer, he goes, I think you're going to be fine. And then this was the sweetest thing. He goes, but do me a favor. Give me a call when you do make it home, because I want to know that you made it. And you know what they charged me for all of this? Nada.
Wow.
Nice.
Nada. These guys at Wolf Chase Hyundai could not have been nicer, more genuine, that they really were trying to help me to get home. And yesterday he had said, what he was saying, I could try it, but it was bad and maybe not. I said, what would you do? He goes, I wouldn't do it. He said, it's too much of a gamble with the roads the way they are. And you want to be in the middle of nowhere and then have to get towed to some who knows. So that's that. But I say, so it looks like, so we're going to try to head out tomorrow morning early and, keep a good thought that I don't kill myself or Debbie or both of us or some lunatic. But I saved my favorite story of this week for you, Craig, because I know if anybody would find this story funny and fitting about me, it would be you. Cody will expect it. Cody will expect this behavior from me. So on the way home with my car, yesterday before they gave me the loaner and everything. I thought, well, I was just under a half a tank. And I was like, I'm going to put fresh gas in there because tomorrow it's supposed to snow. Everything will be closed. Let me fill up the tank. So now it's sunny. It's still cold. It's like 20 degrees, but the sun is beating down. It feels good. I get out of the car with my gloves and I set them on top of the car so I can put my credit card in the pump, and then I'd put the gloves on while I'm pumping the gas. Well, this pump is not working. It's not taking the card. It's freezing up. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pull around to the other pump. I hop back in the car, pull around to the other pump, get my gas. That's fine. I head out. I come down this frozen abutment, and I turn out and make a hard left into the lane. Then I make another hard left, and I'm going back to the hotel. I pull into my spot. I back and forth to make my ruts. I'm feeling good. I reach for my gloves. I go, where are my gloves? Oh, damn it. I left them on the top of the car. Now, these are old gloves. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had these gloves since we were still in Tribune Tower. Long, long ago, I've had these gloves.
Wow.
But I was also in the mental place where I couldn't take one more loss. I couldn't allow one more thing to beat me.
Yeah.
And I called Debbie and I left my gloves on the roof of the car. I'm going back out to find them. She's
Yes.
like, what?
Yes.
I said, I'm going back.
All the way. I don't care where. I don't care how dangerous it is. I'm getting out of this vehicle and I'm picking those gloves up wherever they are.
You don't know how right you are, Craig.
So
I drive
happy.
back to the gas station and I look at the pump I was at. They're not there. I figured, maybe when I swung around, they'd be at the second pump. No. I even went so far as to walk into the gas station and say to the clerk, hey, has anybody turned in gloves? And she looked at me like I was some dumb Yankee who was coming down to try to take things over again.
Yeah.
Like I asked her, hey, is Elvis really dead? Or is he having a peanut butter and banana sandwich somewhere? She gave me an unbelievable look.
She was like, by Jove, Governor, you say you've lost your gloves?
Man, you're so good at that accent.
Your
It's a good
fingies.
accent. And it
Yeah,
reminds me, every time he does it, it reminds me he's never been south of
Right.
Decatur.
Yeah, he's never visited Memphis.
Your
No.
fingy slip. Your fingy slip that you put over your fingers.
Yes, the
'Cause-
fingy slips.
Yeah.
So where were they? Where were the gloves?
All right. I come out of the parking lot. I make my first left into the left turn lane. I turn. I go down about a block. I see them. They're between the left lane and the median, covered in goo, just laying there. Well, now I look in my rearview mirror. There's nobody. There's somebody coming up, so I can't stop. I'm like, all right, but I know where they are. So now I have to go up a couple blocks, and I have to make a terrible U-turn through an unplowed U-turn area.
I'm so excited.
Somebody's coming the other way, and I get stuck. Now I'm stuck in the middle of the road because I'm trying to find my 10-year-old gloves. And I get out of that because I know how to rock a car. And I go up to another corner where it's a big intersection, and I hang a hard U-turn. And I go back down, and I make another hard U-turn. Now there's nobody behind me. And I open the driver's door, and I'm creeping up, and I see the one glove. So I throw the car in park. There's a truck coming up behind me really fast. I throw on my emergency flashers. He spins around me. Now there's nobody. I hop out of the car. I grab the one glove, and I run up about 8 feet, and I grab the other glove. And I'm like, yes! I get in the car. These gloves have been run over about 87 times. They are soaked beyond belief. But you know what? I got them. I did not lose. I couldn't take one more defeat. That was it. So I had a little bit of victory.
The most Noonan part of that story is that you went by the gloves multiple times before you picked them up. I'm so happy that you couldn't have stopped the first time. That made me so happy.
No, why would I be able to stop the first time? That would have been too easy. I have to then endure getting the car stuck and making another couple U-turns to get back to that point. But I found him.
This trip truly, and I know he already left, so I'm sorry, Roger, that you're missing this comparison, but this entire trip is the Roger Badish being stuck on Lakeshore Drive of Brian Noonan's travel existence.
I don't know if I agree with that because Raj just got stuck. there was not a lot else to do other than sit and wait for saving, correct?
Sure.
Correct.
But there was something completely insane about it.
Oh, it was insane. The main difference is I'm not going to tell this story every February 15th.
Sure, and have it be on the cover of a book. But I mean, you managed to get to barely get out of a tropical southern state because of a blizzard. That shouldn't even be a thing. And then your car magically broke down, and because and I know the South is not tropical. Yes, I have actually been further south than wherever you guys.
No, Louisiana is pretty tropical most of the time.
Right. So not only were you in a place where it shouldn't snow in the first place, but everything shut down. Walmart closed, which isn't possible. I don't even know how that's true. And did you did get the bread though, and the peanut butter and jelly?
Got the bread, the peanut butter and jelly. There wasn't much water there. You would have the lines were halfway back of the store. It was crazy. It was like they were giving things away. It was like Armageddon was happening. There were 3 horsemen in the parking lot, and the 4th one was coming. It was that bad.
That's amazing. We don't have anything to give away, but Carol just made me very happy with her out of context quote. Let's get more. Anyone that's listened to that whole story, send your favorite one via chat. We will vote at the end of the show.
I do. Carol's right, though. I do know. Ask any of the ladies that I've known. I know how to rock a car.
Sure. So, and then your car broke down, but it didn't break down because nothing was wrong with it. You just pulled over.
Something was wrong with it, but now it's magically fixed. Fingers crossed.
And now you might be leaving and be fine to come back.
But we're leaving. The roads are going to be horrific for a while, but we're gonna start. And if we'll see. I think at the 13-hour mark, I'll probably, no matter where I am, I'm probably stopping.
At least you have electricity, because at some point during this story, it just naturally follows that the power grid would have also failed you, as it has like half of the rest of the country, including Texas.
Well, the difference here is that the power grid is overseen by the government. It's not privatized like in Texas, where it's just the greedy folks trying to make some money off private power because they don't want the government regulating what they do over there, because everything's bigger in Texas, including the death toll from winter storms.
That is now 2 states that hate you.
Wait, it's what? It's public. Wait,
it's privatized.
No. But where you are, the government runs the energy grid?
Well, no, but it's regulated. It wasn't broken up and privatized. It's, the major utility companies run it and operate it and are under federal scrutiny. In Texas, that is not the case.
Oh, I did not realize.
It's like you could open a power company, and if you were, savvy enough to get some suckers to fall for it, you could, Cody's plug and play, whatever your electric company is going to be called.
I have a company called that, but it's not an electric company.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to leave tomorrow. I may or may not be home. I've been keeping my mom updated because she has the dogs, and she's like, they don't care. We're fine. I said, do you have enough food? Yeah, we're fine. I'm like, okay. She said, are you going to be home? Our second vaccine is a week from Saturday. Are you going to be home then? I better be home by the 27th.
You better be home.
If I'm not home by the 27th. I don't know. So ran into some good people who helped us out. We were very lucky with finding the hotel, and so I know people are going to go, you should just be grateful. Yeah, I am grateful. But I also love Memphis. But normally when I come to Memphis, it's barbecue, Beale Street, and the blues. Now it's, oh my God, I can't even get a Whopper because everything is closed. And Craig, my penchant for a Whopper. In times of trouble, I got to go to Burger King.
You got to hit the Burger King. Can I pivot just a bit and ask a question?
You can do whatever. I'm done with my story.
I'm curious about something. This happened to me this evening. Have either of you ever sent an errand, like an incorrect, an accidental emoji to another human being?
Related, I have reacted with an inappropriate react. Like a friend in a group text said that that like his mom like fell and broke her hip, and I reacted with a laughing emoji instead of the crying tear, and I had intended on the crying tear, and I remedied it quickly, but hopefully he didn't see that.
Let's first explain my relationship with Frankie, because I think it's going to be important as we get through this. Frankie's a guy that right now is making hamburgers for his soon-to-be restaurant. Let's call it an underground restaurant, because that's kind of what it is right now. And Frankie's great with his hamburgers. You just got to text him, and he'll make you a hamburger, and it's delicious. I know this part of the story is weird, but there's a better way to explain it. I'm not going to do it. That's the way I'm going to choose to do it. Right. So I text Frankie and ask him for a hamburger, and I've done it before. He's made delicious ones, and he said, right away, sir, very kind guy. And then I texted him back, thank you, and a kissy face emoji. The kissy face emoji was an accident. Frankie and I are only on a first. No, it was. We're only on like a first. Our friendship is just starting out. We're just at the early stages. I didn't know, like, you got to explain the Aaron emoji, right? You have to send a follow-up text. I totally didn't mean that. But today, when I picked up my hamburger, I don't think Frankie believed me, because it was a very awkward exchange, and he had his wife do most of the transaction, and I didn't know what to do in the moment. I didn't know if, like, I should be like, I didn't mean to kissy face you, but I feel like now I don't know if I can ever get a hamburger from the man again, and they are delicious. What should I do? This is the question to both of you.
Double down. Send him a D-pic. That's your only option.
Send him I want a hamburger. I want your meat, and then send him an eggplant emoji.
Yeah, dude, just put buns on either side of it and take a shot of it, and then be like, hey, put this on your menu. Do you want ketchup or mayonnaise? Yeah, let's go, dude.
Okay, first people to ask this question. I've learned that now. I think I have to bring it up again. I think with Frankie, if I get another hamburger at some point, I don't think I do anything in text. I think I have to apologize again in person. Remember when I sent you the kissy face, man? That was totally a mistake. I promise. Maybe I bring my wife to do most of my transactions.
He might think that you're making too much of it, that you keep thinking about it.
Okay.
Frankie might be so busy making burgers.
It was very awkward, though. He's usually way friendlier, and tonight he was very odd.
Tom says, what's a kissy between dudes? No big deal.
All right.
Craig,
in some cultures, a man-to-man kiss on the cheek is encouraged.
This is true.
Hold on. What's it
called?
Right.
What happened?
Spotlight
Cody's
effect?
Doing a thing.
No. We covered it. We covered a bias on Curiosity Daily, award-winning science podcast from the Discovery family of brands.
You can actually hear an interview on the Chad Benson show from this past Monday. Craig Collins filling in, previewing the Curiosity Daily podcast. Yes.
Wow. You guys are busy.
Yeah, it was a good call. I cannot. Yes, thank you for having me on the show. It was really fun, as it always is with you, Craig. There is a bias that we've covered, and I can't remember the name of it, but it basically is that you're biased to think people care or think about you more than they do.
I know about this. Yes, I've seen this.
There is actually statistically it is much more probable that anything else was on his mind than him thinking about an emoji that you sent. I mean, like, people text very quickly. They don't think a lot about it most of the time. They're probably texting lots of people. He was probably like scrolling Twitter and liking things, and then just tapped your thing.
He was not. I can tell you what he was doing. He was sitting. No one else had ordered anything because he's not very busy this evening, and he was just kind of sitting in the back. And he's usually the one that does the interaction with me. He takes the money. He gives me the burger. He tells me something else delicious on the menu. Tonight, he was none of those things.
I'm talking about when he got the text.
Okay.
So
he may have been thinking about sending you the same kind of emoji.
Right.
And now
maybe he got in a fight. Maybe he got in a fight with his wife, and he was like, "You know what, wife? I am suddenly Italiano." Wife, I have the feelings for the Craig Collins.
Exactly what he sounds like.
Do? And then she was like, honey,
you must go to the same underground restaurant.
Honey, I'm going to handle this transaction with Craig because I think you're not got some talking to do. You know what I'm saying, hon? And then he was like,
exactly what his wife sounds like. Like verbatim, that's exactly it.
Spicy a wife that I have. I do not know what to do in this situation.
I love this cross-cultural couple you've created.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
His
accent does fluctuate too. Frankie does have several different forms of his accent.
Yeah, very cosmopolitan. That literally could have been happening, Craig. Like, you don't know.
Right.
What I'm saying is when he got the text, he was probably doing 18 other things on his phone. Even if he's bored, he's by himself. He's probably looking at porn or something. Who knows? He probably glanced at your thing for a half second, didn't think about it.
Oh my God.
I guarantee you there's other things in his life. Maybe he found out that someone he knows just got COVID. Maybe his wife got in a fight with him. Maybe his wife yelled at him. You know, there's a million reasons somebody would be weird and standoffish.
All right.
And I don't think that an emoji is necessarily going to be the main one personally.
Well,
but
the hamburger tonight is delicious. It's arranchera is the style of beef. It's a good hamburger. I don't want to lose that in my life.
Ask Frankie
what
his style of beef is.
And see what he says.
I think we've covered it. Thank you, guys.
If Cody's theory is correct, and he was watching something on his phone prior to you sending that emoji, do we know if Frankie washed his hands before molding your meat?
I plead the fifth. I don't want to answer that. I don't know. Oh God.
I also seem to remember Craig saying, I want to make a slight pivot for a second. And I feel like you just you took Brian's Hyundai and just kind of crashed it over on the road and then hopped on a flight to Shanghai. And that's because I was waiting for any kind of connection, even just remotely.
There were none.
But no, that
it was obvious Craig had tired of my tales and needed to talk about something else.
No, it wasn't necessarily that. We did, by the way, agree that we were going to do a shorter show, I think, today. So I think we're now done officially.
No,
this is it. Goodbye.
No, I want to talk about Frankie's meat for another 45 minutes, and specifically your reactions to it. How did it feel in your mouth? Describe it. And then I will send a clip to Frankie. I'll send him some out of context stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, wow. You can put that context right in his mouth.
The worst people to ask this question ever. I
would like to see one of Frankie's burgers next week, though.
Sure, I can get that done. I think
big juicy burger. Yeah, have Betty order it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking to do. I'm not kidding.
I think that Frankie is going to be fine. Yes, we did agree that we were going short tonight, a little less tonight because of circumstances beyond our control. Does anybody have anything else, anything pressing they need to get to?
Yeah, you wake up all the people at the hotel. No, I was on Craig's show. It was really fun. I like doing Craig's show.
That was really a lot of fun. Yes,
it is always fun to be on.
Yeah, for me too. By the way,
it's
very good host.
For Chad Benson and the people who watch this, if they ever do, it is good to be on. Thank you.
It gives you a different outlet.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. No, I really actually did. Well, because I knew you had a lot to talk about with your tale, and I knew we'd go a little short, but I really didn't prep anything. I've just been crushed with work and snow, and then more work and more snow. Like it's like Groundhog. You know, it's felt like Groundhog Day in quarantine, and then it finally snows, and you're like, well, now there's snow. Now I can shovel. Now that's a little different. But then it starts to snow every day. You're like, wait a minute. Now we're doing the same thing every day again. But it just involves more back hurting.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to arriving at my house. I'm praying. We told our next door neighbor that we were going to be gone just for a couple of days, and I had shoveled his snow right before we left in a passive aggressive attempt to hope that he would shovel mine. But I hold no hope that it's going to be anything less than a nightmare when I arrive at the house.
Because you would have had to shovel it 9 times by now.
Yeah.
The other thing is, dude, I got electrocuted earlier today. On purpose.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I guess this was a thing.
The last sentence was the best one. On purpose?
Well, it wasn't really electric. No, so I'm in physical therapy for my shoulder. Nothing, I didn't injure it. It's just that there's like a joint that's been kind of weird and disconnected. Oh God, it hurts. So I'm in physical therapy, Northwestern. They did this thing called dry needling. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Have you had it done to you?
No.
Okay. So it doesn't, on a scale
Explain to Craig what it is, though. He doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, it probably is like maybe a 6 on the pain scale, like between 5 and 7 oscillating, but an average 6. It's not extra painful, but they put a needle inside like a ball of your muscles, or for me, a ball of muscles that are really, really tight, like super tight and tense.
It's different than acupuncture. How?
It is actually a science-based acupuncture technique. So it does come from the world of acupuncture, but like they're doing it at Northwestern Medicine, so clearly it's it's legit. So they take a needle and they basically kind of like poke their way around and try to loosen up the muscles. I don't know how they do it, and you barely feel it. I say needle, I'm sure it's like a nano whatever, like in diameter. I'm sure it's ultra. I never see it, but I'm sure it's ultra tiny. And they put it in there and they kind of loosen it up, and then they'll loosen up the muscles, and sometimes the muscles are like wrapped around nerve ending, like a knot. And so when they touch the nerve ending, you start to twitch. So like she'll touch it and it's like twit, 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 twit. And she told me last week that when she was doing it, she said, I've been doing this like 9 years and I've never seen anyone's muscles twitch that bad. So really tight. And I was really jacked up. So today she dry needles me again. I'm a little sore. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's from shoveling, or maybe I, exacerbated it from the shoveling. I don't feel like I use a lot of shoulder action. I try and use my legs, as much as I can. I end up using my lower back, and it sucks.
Could you give us an example of how you shovel?
That'd be lovely.
It would be.
Go get the use your arms when you shovel.
Yeah, I don't understand. It can't be all leg action.
No.
What?
Unless you're just dry humping a drift.
What? No, what's wrong with that?
You have to use your arms when you shovel.
No, what's wrong with dry humping a drift?
Can we go get the shovel and
it's the same as dry humping a drifter. Everything is fine.
The shovel's out there, but it's covered in snow. I'm not going to put that in my podcast studio. The shot's not wide enough. This looks long. It's only like 2 feet. Yeah, it's not far. It doesn't matter.
That's what she said.
Thank you. So then she's like, okay, well, all right. And then she's like, yeah, she massages a little. She's like, do this exercise, do this. I do like 2 exercises. And then I'm like, well, this hurts. She's like, okay, let me check. And she like just touches my shoulder and it hurts. Like just soft touch, just like hurt it. And she's like, all right. I cannot give an example of the twitch either, David. Sorry.
David wants to see the twitch.
So then she's like, all right, let's try this. So she carts out this tall medical device thing on a cart. And then she starts sticking these like suction cups to my shoulder. Like there's like 5 of them. Like they're all connected to wires. And then she's like,
this is called cupping. And no, it is. That's another thing. That's a thing you can get at the same place that does the acupuncture. They can do cupping.
Have you had anyone cup you? Did Frankie cup you?
Frankie's not cup me, but I had Andrea cup me one time.
Okay. So they get on my shoulder all wired up and stuff. And then she's like, okay, so I'm going to hit this thing. So it creates, so basically like the way you feel, the way your body works is your brain sends a signal to part of your body, and then that part of your body sends the signal back. And pain is what you feel when it sends the signal back, right? So she's like, basically I'm going to run an electrical current through this part of your shoulder so that it interrupts that signal that goes back to your brain, so you won't feel the pain. So it like is supposed to numb my arm by electrocuting me. And then she's like, okay, you'll get used to this weird tingling sensation. So when that happens, just turn up this dial and that'll send more electricity through your system, but it might make you twitch. And if it makes you twitch, then stop doing it. And I'm like, okay, this isn't terrifying. So she sets a timer for 15 minutes and just walks away. So I'm sitting there for a minute.
This was at a hospital that this happened?
This is weird.
I just saved you some money and just hooked you up to a car battery.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, yeah, but your car battery wouldn't have worked. That's the problem.
No, the battery works fine. That was not an issue.
No, well, so so she does it, and then after a couple minutes, I'm like, well, I don't really feel anything anymore. I'll turn it up. Turn it up. The entire top part of my body starts twitching, like not comfortable. Like this is on my right shoulder, right? I feel my entire trap across all of my back, like from my left to my right shoulder, they just start twitching and tightening up. And I was like, my whole body is going to rip in half and I'm going to give myself brain damage if I don't like turn this down right now. So I kept, and I wouldn't, I don't think, but yeah. So I kept having to turn it down. It was not for me. I did not enjoy it. My shoulder hurts a lot. Fortunately, it doesn't really impact podcasting, but that was a weird thing that I went through. Leave a comment. Leave a comment down below in the Facebook on the sidebar. Like, subscribe, smash that like button. Tell me about the last time you were electrocuted. and we'll send you to Frankie's Burgers and Blow.
Frankie's Underground Meat Palace.
Oh man, is Frankie watching right now?
I don't think so. I think
right.
We'll write him a nice commercial. We could write him a jingle.
Well, he would love that. Yes.
Frankie's Meat. Frankie's Meat. We don't tell you where we are because we're elite. It's Frankie's Meat. Kissy face emoji.
I don't know if you hit it out of the park with that, Noonan. We can keep trying.
First draft, man. You pitch. You throw a lot up on the board, man.
That's amen to that.
Yeah.
Got to try. All right, let's plug Cody's Every Day, the Curiosity Daily Podcast, curiosity.com, part of the Discovery family of brands. Discovery, what's the new Discovery subscription?
This is just, Discovery Plus. So actually, streaming tomorrow on Discovery Plus, there is going to be a special called COVID something. Come on, we just interviewed this person. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so what are these weird windows I have open? That's so strange.
Wow.
Right.
Cody gets confused by his computer. This is a segment.
Yeah. Streaming tomorrow on Discovery Plus is a brand new documentary called The Vaccine Conquering COVID.
Cool.
Yeah, and I saw part of the screener, and they interview a bunch of the world's leading doctors, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, about like what it took to make the vaccines and how they're working, and like kind of like, an update on everything. And anyway, this week we interviewed a woman from the NYC Health and Hospitals, from the pathogens program at NYC Health and Hospitals, and she asked some. We basically asked her about the new COVID variants and how they impact the vaccines, how they should impact the way that we're acting, and kind of an update on like the latest recommendations for what to do with COVID. So the specials on Discovery Plus debuting tomorrow, so you can check it out there. But also on Curiosity Daily next Tuesday, February 23rd, we'll be running our interview with Dr. Saira Madad. And we'll be talking about what's going on with the variants. Should people be worried about them? When should people worry about them? The long answer is don't worry about them right now. That's
what they said a year ago about the first one. Hey, no, it's never going to get here. Don't worry about it.
Sure. Don't worry any more than we're already worrying, I guess.
Right. All right.
Like, yeah, really, for now. So, anyway, check that out. It's very exciting. It's why I'm, when I started the show, I was kind of coming in hot. I was like, oh, my microphone setup doesn't work. Oh, I'm so buried with work. Like I've been putting in some extra hours to get this interview produced. But I'm excited about that. And then you can check that out on curiositydaily.com or on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, blah, 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 all the other ones. So check it out.
Wow, nice. Got any Chad coming up, Craig? Anything exciting to plug?
I have nothing else booked right now, just more shows with you guys.
Fantastic. I will be on WTMJ next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night if I get home. So that's something to look forward to. We'll be here with you. We'll have to see about next Wednesday. We'll figure something out, but we'll figure it out.
If you're back,
if I'm back, I don't know. But anyway, so keep a good thought for me as I travel the highways and byways of America, picking up hobos and doing whatever it is that people do on road trips in the winter. Just praying not to die. Cindy, in the evening, starting at 6. Some are 6 to 9. So one is 6 to 7:30, I think, because of a Bucks game. So a lot of different times. But I'll put it all on the Facebook page so we can. I'll keep you all updated there in plenty of time. Gentlemen, good to see you again next week. Hopefully, we can bring in some of your big produced bits, your segments. I like those. I like the idea.
Nope. No. You can have none. No.
Well, all right.
Stop trying to take those.
Okay, I didn't take them. I wanted to participate in them. That's all. But you can keep them to yourself. I see how you guys are planning a little insurrection.
Right.
That's fine.
I don't have time to plan things. I'm too busy shoveling.
You're very busy shoveling with just your pelvis, which makes it that's a very small blade to pick everything up. So I can see it take a long time. Thanks everybody for listening and for watching. And Cody and Craig, it is always an honor to be on with you. That's it. Are we done?
Yeah, we're good.
We're done.
Bye, guys.
All right. We're done.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
GG.
Bye. Thanks.
Cheers.
All right, hold on. I got to find how do I end this? Here we go.
It's delicious wine.